Now that you've received the lecture on pages 1 and 2, you can go ahead and move on to page 3. In your worksheets, with your worksheets document opened, make sure to lock page 2 because we are no longer working on it, and unlock page 3, making sure page 3 is selected. I'm going to go ahead and use my zoom tool and zoom in on page 3 so I can get to work. The toolboxes that you need to be able to view are, of course, your main tools, your color, your layers, and your alignments. Moving on to the sheet, it says to create, it shows an image of a square, and it says to create a 4-point stroke. So I'm going to go to my Shapes tools, Rectangle, holding Shift, I'm going to create a perfect square. With my Selection tool, I'm going to select it and change that point to 4. When you move on to the next one, it says that it shows 5 horizontal rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and make 5 horizontal rectangles with different sizes. It says to align them to the left, distribute them evenly, and then direct select one color to change. So I'm going to select all 5 of those horizontal rectangles. Going into my alignments, I'm going to look for the icon that's going to align them on the left. I also need to distribute the space equally, so go down, look under distribute spacing, which icon looks like it'll distribute that spacing equally, going up and down, and click that. Turn this into a group, so select all 5 of these rectangles and group, Control G. Now when I change the color, all 5 change together. I want to use a direct selection tool to directly select one and change the color of one of those rectangles. Next one says to make a circle with the pen tool. If I go to my fill, I'm going to go to none. That's how I like to start my pen tool. You did this on page 2, but I'll go over it one more time. Start with your north point, you click and let go. Come down to your east point, click and drag down. Remember, this arrow or this anchor is kind of your arrow telling me that my next curve is going to go down and to my south point. Go up to my west point, click, drag. Go right back to my north, click and drag to get that perfect circle. Relatively perfect circle. Now it says to make a circle, direct select a point and stretch the shape. So I'm going to go to my Shapes tool and find the ellipse. Might as well make a perfect circle with the ellipse tool. It doesn't say to use the pen tool. So I'm going to go ahead and make that perfect circle. Go to my direct selection tool and select one point, making it active. This point's filled, this point's white. Stretch that shape. Now going down, it says to make a wavy line, a 4-point stroke, no color, fill. So I'm going to go to my pen tool, fill off, stroke black. I'm going to make that a 4-point stroke. I'm going to go ahead and click let go. My first point with the pen tool, always click let go. And then I'm going to click at the top of the mountain, drag, bottom of the valley, drag. Top of the mountain, drag, bottom of the valley, drag, and so on and so forth until I get my wavy line. Now I'm going to go back to my selection tool to start my new shape. Now the bottom left says to create a square. I'm going to go to my rectangle tool and create a perfect square. Rotate diagonally. So I'm going to go in my rotate tool or my selection tool and hover to rotate and holding shift, rotating that diagonally. It says to delete one point. So I'm going to go to my direct selection tool to delete one single point. Press delete on my keyboard and close the shape. Back to my pen tool. Now I'm going to go back to my selection tool because I'm in between tools, and it says to copy and reflect. So I'm going to select my shape. I want to reflect that shape. So I'm going to go to Object because I need to manipulate an object. Transform, Reflect. I want to reflect it going left to right, so I'm going to make sure vertical is selected, and I'm going to press copy. Last shape on the bottom right says to use the knife tool. So I'm going to create any shape. You can create any shape you choose. I'll just go with the rectangle like on the packet. I'm just going to create that rectangle. Using the knife tool, remember this is not the knife tool. This is the slice tool. Using the knife tool, which is grouped with the eraser and scissors, I'm going to make sure that shape is selected, and I'm going to cut right through, making sure the top of that cut is outside of the shape and the bottom of that cut is outside of the shape. Going back to my selection tool, I'm going to deselect, because if I try and move it now, it's all selected. Deselect it, and then select it and pull it apart. And that is page 3.